What's up YouTube? This is Success Carswell leaving you a video. We're going to talk about is my first 2 airline interviews, how they went, what went wrong, what I should have did. So when you go on your interview, some ideas of what to do and what not to do, and that give you understanding of how the process works. So the first one I went to is actually in Minnesota. So my dad paid for me a plane ticket to be able to fly out there. So I get to Minnesota and it was right next to Mall of America. If you've never been to Mall of America, they have a lot of hotels that's next to it. And most airlines, they usually rent out a room inside the hotel to basically host interviews. So I walk in and I noticed that each person, before you came in, you had to put your arms right here, put your arms down here, and it was measuring them. I remember on the application, they said your arms have to be a certain type of length, but I didn't really understand it, but I seen it when I walked there. When I walked in, 2 ladies end up getting turned around. One chick, she flew all the way from Houston, and they still turned her down. So basically, I guess they needed to see if your arms was a certain length, so you'll be able to put bags in the overhead bin and assist passengers if needed. So make sure you read that fine print. Their setup was, it was 2 recruiters, and one of the recruiters went to the front of the class and she did a PowerPoint presentation, basically, yo, this is the company, this how it is, this how much it pay, this everything. And the next lady walked up. She was like, hey, I want each one of you guys to walk up here and tell us a time you had an adverse situation and what did you do to overcome it. So first lady, she walked up and she told her situation is something basic. And I don't know, have you guys ever been to an interview process and had that perfect person, that one you just know that get hired because they said everything perfect? So this lady walk up there, she's like 65 in her mid-60s, white lady, and you could tell she was like banging back in her day. So she walk up there all perfect. Hey everybody, my name is Kate, and I used to work with Tram Air in 1982. I did it for 5 years until I was swept off my feet by my husband of my dreams. She like straight going like Beauty and the Beast mode of about how she had the most perfect man, like how Beast had to beat up Gaston, swept off her feet, and they had kids and lived happily after, and she came and wanted to come back to the airlines. So when she finally gets to her situation, she was like, I was flying a CRJ 700 that required 2 flight attendants. I'm just sitting there like, yeah, you would say the equipment and stuff, Miss Know-It-All. And I was like, yeah, required 2 flight attendants. And what happened was we heard a big bang, and it was the right end. And the pilot called us and told us we were going to land very briefly. Then next thing I know, the second engine went out. So the other flight attendant, she completely froze up. I told her to declare for emergency landing, and she just completely froze. So I said, Perry, do you want to help, or do you want to sit this one out? So, I put her in her seatbelt. So she'd tell like this perfect story about how, old girl, she completely froze up. She choked. So she had to handle everything. One of the engines ended up coming back on. They did a perfect landing and everybody in the class started clapping. So just my luck. Carswell, you're next. So I gotta go after Miss Superwoman, perfect lady, so I'm like, just my luck, I gotta go after her, right? So I go up there and just say some dumb stuff. I didn't even say nothing, probably anything productive. Yeah, I used to work here and whatever, said terrible situation, right? When everything was over with, they said they want to do a 2-on-1 interview, basically to get a feel about you, go over your resume and things like that. So it's my turn, and what my mentality, the way I am, is if you give me a chance to go 1-on-1, I'm going to dominate that interview because I know how to hook you in, right? Wrong, because what happened was we was going back and forth over my resume, and remember I used to work as a ramper for an airline, and she was like, so it looked like you was terminated from this airline. What happened? And I never I wasn't ready. I was not ready at all for that question. So it stumped me. I'm like, well, what happened was, and, I'm scratching my head saying dumb stuff. So I leave that interview, needless to say, I did not get hired. The first thing I learned was you have to have a solid resume. So make sure your resume is solid, because most people come into this industry or want to get into this industry and they think you have to have degrees or anything like that. You just need a lot of customer service. You need a strong, solid resume. And one lady who does an amazing job, her name is Kiki Ward. She have a book called The Essential Guide to Becoming a Flight Attendant. Kikiward. Check out that. She breaks down the interview process, and she even, for I think like $10-15, she will do your resume for you, adjust it to the way flight attendant recruiters will like it. And the next thing I definitely learned was have confidence, because the lady, Miss Perfect, that went up there, she had confidence in her story. She took her time and was good. My second interview ended up being in Detroit. So I get the email saying come to this open house. So I drive up there, and this time it have over 100 people. So it went from 15 people at my first one to this one, 100 people. So it's competitive. So as soon as I walk up to the desk, one of the recruiters like, hey, you know, what base would you like? You got Denver, Philly, Atlanta, you have like 4 different bases if you was to get hired with base. So I write down the base and they tell me to go in this certain room. So when I get in there, it was the same process. They broke down, hey, this is our company, this is what's going on. But the difference with this company and the other one was they was raw on telling you this job might not be for you. You want your kid birthdays? You probably gonna miss your kid's birthdays. Grandma funeral? You're probably gonna miss grandma funeral. So they telling you like this job, everything that glitter is not gold in this industry. So they was like, if you about this life, stay. If not, we're gonna give you 10 minutes to be able to leave. And when we came back, like 20 people left. Like they scared the heck out of some people, like for real. So I guess that's like a good tactic of what they basically do to tell you the raw truth about how the airline industry is. Like you're not going to be able to, as glamorous as you expect the job to be, it's not going to be that glamorous, you know. So when we came back, what they did was told us to go in front of the class, go in front of the room and tell everybody something unique about yourself. And this shit go up there, right? Swear on everything, I cannot make this up. She go up there and the chick say, my name is Jane Doe, and something unique about myself is I always wanted to pose for Playboy. Like, did you really just say that? Like really, did? Go home. People do not say you pose for Playboy at an interview. Like, no, don't do it. That would get you fired. So after she said that dumb stuff, when the recruiters was like, I know you guys love to travel, but when you go up there, do not say you love to travel. Next person go up there, I know you guys don't say you love to travel, but I love to travel. Next, well, you know, I love being able to travel around the world. Next, well, I love being able to just use the flight benefits. If they say don't travel, if they say do not travel, that means do not say want to travel. Like, why people can't follow basic directions? Like, don't do it. So all of my subscribers, all of my followers, you would not do dumb stuff like that. So I believe none of them got hired, because it's like half of them that said that dumb stuff. So when I went up there, I said something unique about myself. Hey, you know, I'm Orlando, I'm outlandish, outgoing type person, something cool. So needless to say, I did not get hired there. Now, what did I learn from this interview? The primary thing I learned was be prepared for your speech. A lot of people went up there and freestyled it and just said some crap like I did. And a lot of people, I can tell their speech was too good for them to freestyle it. They had it memorized in their head. So what you have to do, write down a speech before you even go to that open house. I want you to already have something in your head when you go. For example, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Success Carswell. I'd like to first thank John and Karen for allowing me to be here today. The reason I would be a perfect flight attendant for XYZ Airlines is because when I first started my career in the cemetery business as a family service counselor. And no, I did not work for a funeral home. I didn't have to touch dead people. But as a family service counselor, you have to deal with so many different type of people during their times of need. And I believe that definitely can help me with this type of field. And next, and currently, I'm working at Detroit Metro Airport, managing some bars and coffee shops. So I have to deal with people from all around the world and drunk people also, but it's definitely something fun. And so that's off the top of my head. I haven't did that in 5 years, but when you do it so much and practice so much, it's like press and play and you just completely going at it. So I want you guys to definitely have something like that. And also another thing I learned is your appearance. Make sure you come looking clean, because if you have 100 people at the interview, probably only 30 of them is actually going to come with a suit looking presentable. Some just going to wear some slacks and not take themselves serious. Another tip is wear something that complement the airline colors. So if their colors is red, white, and blue, a blue suit, red tie, and a white shirt. And when you with the recruiter, when you talk to recruiters, they already can see you in their uniform. So that's a little side thing. Also, make sure you guys like my Facebook page. It is Success Carswell. So on the Facebook page, we're doing more fun things such as like interviews with other flight attendants, and on the YouTube page, we're doing the how-tos and giving you guys good stories and examples. Until next time, see you guys in the friendly sky.